Today goes to what? Father Marquis.
So yeah, it's
Father.
and Janet, she's the one who kind of assigns the thoughts for the day. And I said, Janet, I said, do you know why the 31st of July? Any reason? And she said, no, I just assigned you that day. Well, today is the feast of Ignatius Loyola. So, he's the founder. He's the one who started the religious order I belong to, the Jesuits. Father Greg is a Jesuit. Marcos is a Jesuit. Jeffrey was here for the past couple of weeks, Jesuit. Alex last year, if you remember him, he was a Jesuit. So it's an international order. So Jesuits all over the world are celebrating the feast of Ignatius Loyola today. So I wanted to say something about Ignatius because we're celebrating. So Ignatius was a nobleman. He was a soldier. And he was Basque, it's part of Spain. And he was fighting a battle, the Battle of Pamplona, where he and the Spanish army were defending the castle in Pamplona against the French. And the other soldiers in the castle wanted to give up because they were surrounded by all the French and their cannons and things like that. So Ignatius said, no, we can do it, we can win. And so they said, okay, we're going to go with you. So. And they ended up losing. And in the process, he was, a cannonball hit near him in his leg. He had a compound fracture. The bone was sticking out. So somebody pulled it out and then reset the bone. And he had a limp for the rest of his life because it wasn't done very well. And then when it healed, there was a big piece of bone on the side of his leg. And he wanted to look good because in those days, men wore silk stockings and they wore those big things. Yeah, so they wanted to look good. So he found somebody to slice it off the bone, and they said, "You're crazy," but he wanted to look good, so they sliced it off. And then he was recovering in the bed of a friend of his who had another castle. And he's in bed and he's bored. And so this was 500 years ago. So he's asking the guy in the cat, do you have any books on knights and fighting and chivalry? Because he loved to read that kind of stuff. He wasn't a spiritual man at all. He wasn't religious. He liked fighting. And so all the guy had were 2 books. He said, all we have is a book on the lives of the saints and a book on the imitation of Jesus. And so Ignatius said, okay, I'll take those. Just, what the heck, it's all you got. So in bed while he was recovering, he used to use his imagination a lot. And he would imagine himself doing the things he'd done in the past. The battles he had fought, the ones he was able to win, the accomplishments, the people he'd impressed, and all the material goods that he'd acquired over time, and it felt good. He felt joy in just imagining himself and daydreaming and fantasizing about, and also the things he was going to do in the future battles he would win, the glories that lay ahead, and it felt good. But then, out of boredom, he picks up the book on the lives of the saints, and he starts reading the things that these saints did, and in helping people and caring for those who are sick and poor and those in need. And then the book on the imitation of Jesus, he started reading about the things Jesus did to care for people and help them be their best selves and discover that the world is teaching them a lot of lies about their value. And they're much more than that. And then Ignatius started to imagine himself doing the things that Jesus did. He started to imagine himself doing the things the saints did. And he was surprised to find out it brought him life. He started feeling good. He said, wow. And then he spent his days thinking about the things as a nobleman and a soldier, and the things of the saints. And one day he discovered that he made this discovery that when he thought about glories and battles and winning and and impressing people and acquiring possessions, the good feeling didn't last. It felt good, but only for a second. Immediately it dried up. He wasn't there anymore. But when he thought about doing things the saints did and putting himself there, caring for people and doing things he never thought before, being compassionate and kind, it didn't go away. It started to give his heart life in a way that he'd never experienced before. And so he made the decision, I'm going to follow that way. And so he gave up his old way and he began this new way. And that's called a conversion or a change. He changed his life. And without even knowing it, what was happening with Ignatius is he was falling in love in a real deep way. And so I wanted to compare that to this place, because when we come through the doors, we're leaving another way of life, a way that maybe we thought was satisfying, maybe similar to Ignatius, winning battles, acquiring things, the looks, being flashy, impressing people. And then you just get tired and you come through our doors. And it's like a change, like a conversion, where if you participate in the program, you begin to see things in a different way. The heart begins to change and you start to be more in love with yourself, be more compassionate and kind and present to those around you. Without even knowing it, you're falling in love. And so I wanted to end with this is something. So, a Jesuit who lived about 30 years ago, his name is Pedro Arrupe, and he wrote this prayer for us. So I'm going to read it, and I'll conclude with that. It's all about love. Okay, love. So he says, this is Pedro Arrupe, nothing is more practical than finding God. That is, than falling in love in a quite absolute final way. What you are in love with, what seizes your imagination, will affect everything. It will decide what will get you out of bed in the morning, what you do with your evenings, how you spend your weekend, what you read, who you know, and what breaks your heart, and what amazes you with joy and gratitude. Fall in love, stay in love, and it will decide everything.